astonishing number of times. I mean, it's really pretty crazy the number of legitimate businesses you've founded. How do you go into each of those unknowns and begin to make them make sense?
First, it has to inspire me. It has to be fun. It has to be something I'm dreaming about. You know what I'm saying? Anything that I enjoy, I figure out how to monetize. There's nothing that I've started as something that I haven't been a customer. Like I would not do anything that I get paid for that I wouldn't do for free. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
So just like we talking for free. If somebody would pay me 50 racks to do it, I'd do it too. But I'd also do it for free. So I've been able to monetize talking. I've been able to monetize thinking. I've been able to monetize getting fresh. I've been able to monetize dancing, liking music, movies. Everything's entertaining. Laughing. I was able to really hit a certain amount of success relatively early, to where it didn't make me say what I'm gonna do next. It just made me say, where's the next fun? I don't like being upset. I don't like being mad. I only got mad for business. If it doesn't yield a profit, it's a waste of time being mad. Emotion is not profitable, really. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's positive and it's love that comes. But like anxiety and all that other shit, fear, I ain't got time for that shit.
Talk a lot about honor code.
It's all I know.
Talk to me about the growing up relatively hard. I mean, at one point you're selling crack. That does not sound like a stress-free life. But how do you develop that honor code? How does that come about? And I watched Honor Up.
Yeah.
So walk me through how you were shaped in that time period of your life, being around those people, how they had a code that they lived by, and it has influenced your life massively.
You know, I decided to hit the street because I just wanted to buy a Suzuki. They cost $10,000, and I didn't have a license, and my mother didn't want to buy it for me because it wasn't legal. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna get that myself. And you know, crack came out. So I was watching a lot of people my age have things that adults had, which gave them a certain amount of independence. Like, if you're paying your own bills, I don't care how old you are, no one can tell you what to do. Period. And that's what I tell any one of my children. The minute you pay your own bills, all I can do is give you advice, but I can't control your environment. So when I got to this place, the only way to survive was honor. And what I witnessed, I admired. I admired the strength in honor because honor isn't convenient. It's not, I'm honorable when it's easy. Honor comes when it's not easy. That's your definition, that's the test, that's what defines you. Is when you have the choice to not be honorable and it would appear that you'll get something in life may be easier. And if you choose honor and you choose a harder path, then you know which you really are. And that's what that is all day. It's a test all day. There's always these shortcuts. But the thing about being in that life is you make one mistake, you die. You make one mistake, you lose your life in jail. You're free. You make one mistake, people you love get hurt, like kidnapped and tortured. So, logically speaking, to survive that, you had to be honorable. And I saw the thing that the honor, the respect that came with it, the strength that came with it, and how cool it looked. I just didn't want to be anything but that, no matter what. And everyone that's practiced that, my friends 20, 30 years later, like in Honor Up, that's really my OG. That's really the guy that taught me those principles. That's the voice I heard it from. And imagine 30 years later, him being able to say, I told you, be honorable and you'll get this. And it happened for him, it happened for me, and all the other people that have lived honorably. So there's truth in believing in honor, and I can say it by experience. And I also can see the lack of honor. The things that I came up on that are so different, that how much people look the other way. How many people actually fail that test, and the recourse of that. The unhappy life that comes with the perception of being happy, of looking like you have more than you do, or that you're smarter, tougher, richer, funnier, or anything that you pretend you are and you're not. Because it tortures that person. They all look for an escape, whether it's a drug or any kind of addiction, to just not face and look in the mirror. To not be able to look at yourself in the mirror or take that shower, that must suck. But I don't know how that feels. I know how it feels to have no conscience, to look in the mirror, be alone, and be like, I'm real happy about every single decision I made.
So you said once that you can see the future, and if we want to know, just ask you. So, what is that ability? So, you've talked about with visualization, you project yourself out to the life that you want to live, the thing you want to manifest, and all of that. Do you have a strategy that you use for thinking through where businesses and trends are going? Do you have a strategy for how you want to use your own time, what you want to envision, how you get the most out of that? What is that process for you?
So in life, I just look at whatever there's a demand for, and as me as a consumer, because I usually represent the masses, because I feel like I'm a regular guy with regular emotions and things like that. If I want it, everyone will want it. If I like it, everyone will like it. I just know I represent the masses. That's all. But everything that's gonna happen in your future is gonna be dictated by what you do right now. So I'm always thinking about what the fuck I'm doing in the future, because it doesn't matter about the past other than to learn about not making the same mistake in the future.
And define what you consider wealthy.
Wealth is happiness completely. It's how much you laugh and how much the people you love laugh. And that's really what love is, and how much time you spend. Like sending money back to somebody like a child, it's not considered love because kids don't care about money. I remember when I was a child, all I wanted for Christmas was for my parents, for my mom to get back with my dad. And I wasn't able to give that to any one of my children. So I still have work to do. You know, I haven't hit that wealthiness because I haven't been able to take that most important pain to a child and take that away from my children. I fucking haven't broke that cycle. That would be wealth. If my children don't have to pick a side, if they don't have to watch us fight, if they don't have to tune out because they don't want to hear us argue. You know what I'm saying?
What's going to be the secret there? What have you
Finding-
learned
getting-
to apply?
Finding the right woman for the right reason. So it's great because I was really able to recognize it in Raquel. I was like, nah, this time I'm staying. We're doing everything together. Fuck her. Like I enjoy this too much. So it's always looking at it from my kid's perspective, my woman's perspective. I think I've learned to take my eyeballs out of my head and put it in theirs for a second to see what they see and what would make them comfortable over me. As a boss, your job is to think about your business and your staff before you think about yourself. It's the same thing a dad does, or the head of the family. So I guess me being conscious of these things at 47, being involved enough to take the time to appreciate that's to me as well. You know, uncompromised, great quality of living. Like, I prefer not to live in a house that's not big and all the luxuries that I've worked so hard to get. But I think every circumstance Raquel and I have been in, we've been equally happy, whether it's a big house or a studio apartment. But I do think that finding your other half and appreciating that bond that you have and understanding the strength, because when you get in a relationship, regardless if you're the breadwinner or not, you still are equal, you know? There still has to be an equal amount brought to the table. So it was just, I had to find someone that brought equal, like with soul, not this, perception, but just in your heart. Someone that is as kind as me, someone that knows how to look out for people other than themselves, like I do. Finally, I feel like I can give and also pause, receive, as opposed to just give and get smacked in the face all the time, which is, generally what happens. I think the test and the reason why I continually keep getting tested when people keep treating me unfair is to see if I will lose faith in people. But I'll never lose faith in people. I'll always try to invest in things and people that inspire me regardless, because my agenda is not really to rob you, it's just I'm actually getting something out of it. So shit.
What are you getting? It's pretty interesting because you've had
experience. The experience. Like I said, if somebody makes a record and it's a historic record and I was in there while it was made, how many people would pay to be in a room with Jimi Hendrix when he made, Purple Haze? Would you?
Yeah.
I would. So I've been in that room a lot. I've been in a room, I got paid to be in a room that people would pay to be in while his history was made. Like, Biggie Smalls was a friend of mine, still is, and he said my name in raps. Wouldn't you have paid for that? To be in the studio with Biggie? Or Old Dirty Bastard? I was in the studio with them. Or be in the studio with Puff when Source wrote Every Step, the Sting record. I was there. There's so many historic moments. The money doesn't mean shit, it's the experience.
You've architected a lot of really historic moments. Because of that, there's an entire generation of entrepreneurs that follow you. Why do you think so many people fail to make their dreams come true? What are they missing that you figured out?
Finishing. They think that it's supposed to be easy. They quit. They don't look at things as a learning experience. They think it's supposed to happen in a day. They don't understand that building a brand means being consistent.
What are three principles you think any entrepreneur has to have?
Number one, they have to lead by example, and they have to work really hard. They have to know that their product is going to be in competition with other products unless it's a new product or an invention. But that means you have to work. Either the product has to be as good, better, or you have to have more money to promote. You know what I'm saying? Like hustling on a crowded block is really hard. And I think courage, you know, never looking at anything as a failure unless you quit. An entrepreneur can't quit. You have to see it through. You just can't quit.
You are a fascinating person to really tease out and understand how you think. One thing that I think sits as like a linchpin in all of this somehow, and I don't quite understand it yet. Why did the death of your mom affect you so much, and exactly how did it affect you?
Well, number one, at that age, it was the only thing I was scared of, and it happened. So once,
Why did it scare you? I mean,
because it's what I love my mother more than anything. You know, a kid that went to camp and was homesick. You know, she went out and came home late. I would be like, you know, she's all I had. My mom, you know, was the only child from my mom. So when she died, you know, for a child, what more do you have to be scared of, right? So when she died, I had faced my worst nightmare. So right there, I was fearless. Like, I just wasn't scared of nothing. I just felt like if anything happened to me, I would just get to my mom quicker. And at the time, I had no kids, so it wasn't really like I had anybody to worry about but me. But then also, I was like, but if I'm gonna be on this planet, I'm gonna have to, you know, take care of myself just as good as my mother took care of me. So at that point, I had no choices. You know, I had to make money to eat. You know, I had to make money to live and buy clothes. You know what I'm saying? There was no option. Either she was gonna make me great or I was gonna make me great. Either way, I was gonna be dang dashed. So I took a lot of responsibility out of her hand and put it on myself.